Okay, class. Okay, there we go. Hey, not bad. My fifth hour sucks at this. All right, so we're going to go through. It says do not use a calculator. Okay, so the calculator is your friend. There's parts that you can. There's certain things you need to show. Even though I will let you use a calculator for the whole thing, but you have to show what you're doing because some people will struggle with the math part. Okay, by not using a calculator, it means don't just graph it and call that a day. So every time I actually keep talking about how many solutions, do you guys recall the special thing I would write out? You guys recall? I did it on 15. I did it yesterday also. B squared minus 4AC. Remember, if it's equal to 0, there is how many solutions? 1. This one is 1. Okay, if b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, that's my 2 real. Think of the numbers right here. Greater than 0 are all positive, right? And if it was b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, what numbers are less than 0? Negative. Negative. That's my 2 non-real. So this is 2 real and this is 2 non-real. So basically I'm asking for this part right here, and you can tell me how many solutions it has. So it's going to be 5 squared minus 4 times 1 times 6. So this is what you need to show. It's really just that part right there. Can I put that in the calculator? Yeah, I'm letting you guys use a calculator. So if you want all your points on this, just do this part right here. So that's 25 minus 24, which is going to give me 1, which is how many solutions? 2. Because 1 is going to be greater than 0, isn't it? So this is 2 solutions. Okay, so now from right here, this one is find all the solutions. So for this one, what would be my next step there? Square root, right? And when I square root, it's always got to be that plus or minus, right? Yeah. So I'm going to write it out. X minus 3 is equal to plus or minus the square root of negative 36. And we know the negative on the inside is the I, right? So, but I'm going to have an I, but square root of 36 is what? 6. It's going to be 6, isn't it? So I'm going to rewrite. So x minus 3 is equal to plus or minus 6i. And then, what am I doing to both sides? Add 3 to both sides. So it's x equals 3 plus or minus 6i. And now my 2 solutions out of this. So I'm going to write it in set notation for this. So it's 3 plus 6i. And I is imaginary, 3 is real. Okay, so the 6i is the complex part, 3 is the real part. So I really can't combine them. I just write them out. So 3 plus 6i, comma, and now my next one, which is going to be 3 minus 6i. All right, and solve using any method. So I'm going to try different methods on each one of these. So this last one I'm going to use completing the square, or not completing the square, quadratic. Okay, and how can I always check my answers? Can I put in the graph and look and see where it's equal to 0 at? Yeah, okay. Any method. Any method. Is a calculator a method? Yeah. Okay. So this one right here. So from here it's going to be a times c is negative 63. And 2 numbers that multiply to be negative 63 but add together to be positive 2. What numbers multiply to be 63 anyway? 9 and 7, all right? Okay, so now is it possible to get a positive 2? Yeah, so that would be yeah. Yeah, positive 9, negative 7, wouldn't it? So positive 9, negative 7. So those two numbers multiply to be negative 63, but they add together to be positive 2. So let's go ahead. X squared plus 9x minus 7x minus 63 equals 0. Factor by grouping. And I'm going to take out an x. I'm left with x plus 9. From here, what am I going to take out as a common factor? Negative 7, right? Negative 7 is a common factor. So negative 7, and I'm left with x plus 9 equals 0. Regroup. They both have x plus 9. And what's left over? There you go, equals 0. Now, these are the factors, right? They're factors. But solutions, we know that all factors equal 0, right? And a solution should say x equals. So I'm going to go with x minus 7 equals 0. Add 7. X is 7. X plus 9 equals 0. Subtract 9. X is negative 9. Okay, so go ahead and I'm going to use, actually let's use a little bit of everything. So let's go ahead and on this one should be pretty easy. So I'm going to do quadratic on this one, small numbers, and then this one, it's going to be ugly, so I'm going to graph. So quadratic ABC, so that's going to be a negative 3 plus or minus square root of negative 3 squared minus 4 times 1 times 18. Everything is over 2 times a, which is 1. So negative makes it a positive 3 plus or minus. Okay, and don't forget, you can put this piece in your calculator if you need to. So this is going to be 9, right? So it's 9. And that's going to become minus what? 70? 72? Okay, so 9 minus 72 is going to give me a negative 63. So square root of a negative 63 all over 2. Okay, so now is 63 a perfect square? No, it's not a perfect square. So I know I could just separate my answers, right? So this is going to be x equals 3 over 2 plus, let's take out the I, square root of 63 over 2. And my other answer is going to be x equals 3 over 2 minus I, square root of 63 over 2. All right, so we have that right there now. Now for my last one on this one. So this one I'm going to use, it is method of choice. So let's choose calculator on this one. While this is loading, let's see if I could just grab one of the other calculators. All right, don't forget, when you pick up that calculator, Doc B, please, because there's some people that keep messing up the calculator settings. I don't want you guys to actually be victim of that. All right, so I cleared it. I'm here. I put it in. But now, there's something wrong here on this one. What do I have to fix before I could enter in the calculator? Yeah, minus 108. I have to subtract 108 because it's got to be equal to 0, especially if I'm putting it in the calculator. I have to subtract that. So it's going to be 6x squared plus 18x minus 108 equals 0. All right. And hey, look, mine finally loaded. So now let's, I already cleared it. I'm going to pull over my calculator here. And there we go. 6x squared plus 18x minus 108. Hit enter. Hey, look, it's right there. So what am I looking for now? What am I solving for? Yeah, I'm solving for x, right? I want it to be x equals, but what am I looking for? 0. Very good. I'm looking for 0. So it even says that on the paper. So it's got to be equal to 0. Menu. Analyze graph. 0. Menu. Analyze graph. 0. So my two answers are x equals. Yep. X equals -6 and x equals +3. Alright, so, okay, this is all you're going to do. Okay, even if you tell me that you're putting in the graph, put it in the graph. Here's your solutions, here's your solution set. Okay. All right, let's see. For this one right here, it says, let me see. It says Muhammad and Eric are each trying to solve the equation here. They know that the solutions to x squared equals -1 are I and -I, but they're not shown. Show the information and solve for this. Finish their equation. Okay, so this first method, okay, so this is what Muhammad's working on right here, and Muhammad's like, hey, it's all the way down to here, and it says finish. What would I do to undo my square? Square root. So now it's going to be x minus 6 equals plus or minus the square root of -1. And we know that the square root of -1 is I, right? Come on, you guys. So we have I. So it's going to be x minus 6 equals plus or minus I. Now to get x by itself, I'm going to add 6. X equals 6 plus or minus I. So my two solutions is going to be 6 plus I, 6 minus I. And the next one says Eric decides solve equation using quadratic formula. Here's Eric's work. So Eric knows that this is a negative number, isn't sure what to do next. Solve it. So now we're going to take this right here and continue the problem from here. So what do I get right here? So 144 minus 148. -4. So I'm going to have 12 plus or minus the square root of -4 over 2. We know that the negative is I, and square root of 4 is 2. So this is going to give me 12 plus or minus 2I all over 2. Now we separate our answers. We separate our answers from here. So it's going to be x equals 12 over 2 plus 2i divided by 2. And we have x equals 12 over 2 minus 2i over 2. And last bit of math. 12 divided by 2 is 6. And what about this 2 over 2? Just, yeah, cancel, so I'm left with I. So this is going to give me 6 plus I, right? This one over here is going to give me 6 minus I, right? So solution sets. There we go. So the whole thing, did it in less than 15 minutes? Probably about 15 minutes. So not bad. This quiz should be pretty easy. Okay? So don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification button. Follow me on Instagram at TheMasterPacho. Wait, here we go.